And we're live.
Gasp. And we're
Gasp. Hello, world. It's us.
Hello, world.
We're here.
Hi.
Yay!
Alrighty.
Jamie, tell us about you.
That was an awkward silence.
Just quiet.
Pregnant pause.
Pause.
I've been instructed by Great Moustache to try and derail our chat for as long as possible because he wants to watch the entire episode but won't be here for a bit.
It'll be difficult.
I'm also kind of okay with that to a point. So, GM, hurry up. Jamie, tell us.
Well, I started watching the Squid Game that everyone's going on about a couple nights ago. I haven't quite finished it yet, but very cool little piece of storytelling. And I do recommend it. I got into a feisty argument online about how the popularity of Squid Game indicates that there are a lot of people who think that they don't like anime who should probably watch the anime because it's very thematically similar to a very large portion of anime. In that sort of like thriller psychological drama section. I'm not saying that you have to like both, or that obviously everyone has different tastes, but it was
you have to like both is what I'm hearing.
I mean, you should like
categorically
both
stated.
because, like good taste is pretty, defined by me. But
GM's here. Sam, tell us about you.
I've been watching this show, Squid Game. Just finished watching it recently. It's got a very sort of anime quality to it. But I guess you can...
How similar is it to Rock of Ages?
Not very. In that it's...
I don't like it then.
Very...
I mean,
Rock of Ages, not Squid Game. Squid Game's fine because it's like anime. I like anime.
Wealthy people.
Yeah, I definitely don't like it. All right.
There's probably a vague crossover theme, but when is that not a theme in life? But yeah. Hi, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitter. It's there on the screen. It's the _real Sammy P. I'm a voice actor and a performer. I'm in a production of Rock of Ages currently, if you happen to live in the southeastern part of Queensland in November, December.
But only in November, December.
I also am currently on Daybreak Prep, which has been a lot of fun to get to play Rayfield again. I recently, I guess, set off a bit of a tirade from Danny over here, and it was the greatest thing that's been streamed on the history of Twitter. You should go watch to see if I'm right. That I am.
Sorry, we were just discussing this earlier. It's Muffin Manifesto that determines good taste. You get to make submissions. He makes the determination.
Right. I mean, it's pending approval then. But
yes, pending approval.
Wait, Jamie's judgment.
indeed.
Also, Jamie does a load of stuff. Check out their website, jamie-collette.com.
Yep. Or at Muffin Manifesto.
Or Muffin Manifesto on Twitter.
All right. Is it a musical episode today?
Are we doing a musical episode? What?
Don't tempt me. I have a question because amongst other, you see, the thing is, we do a musical episode. It means I wind up singing, and none of you want that. I had a question, Jamie. Where did you get? How did the name Muffin Manifesto come about?
Oh, that's a good one. Muffin has been a nickname for me for a long time. It came from university, so it's like 12 years old.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There's actually like 3 or 4 different stories, and no one agrees on how that nickname came into being. But
I understand this. I have a similar problem with one of my
Yeah.
nicknames.
Yeah, and then and so I used muffin as like an online gamer tag for a while, but being a singular word and quite common, it was often taken and or not allowed. Especially more recently, I've noticed a lot of games won't allow it because it has muff in it, and I guess that's
Mm.
Oh,
In
Connotation.
fact, it has muff in.
yeah.
The whole thing.
So I mean that's a separate problem, but I don't remember when I came up with the idea, but like I was playing around with different versions of Muffin Man, etc. And then I was like, oh, I'm also like a pretty radical leftist, and there's a funny joke to be made here about the Muffin Manifesto.
I love it.
Do you know?
Okay.
I
the
only
muffin
got it recently, and it's like
Mm.
I had a moment. I was like, "That's fucking brilliant!" Oh my god.
I'm sure there's a joke to be made, but I'm not getting it.
Like, do you know the Muffin,
Muffin
Man?
Yes.
Ifesto.
Yeah, it's like two things. It's just like
okay. So
a
I did
pineapple
actually get
can.
the joke. Never mind. I did actually get it. I just thought
Yeah,
there was
you
more
got-
to
you
it
got the
because
joke. It's
you
just
said
like-
that it was one. So I was like, so there must be something I'm missing because like
No, no,
this
no.
isn't as funny as I want it to be.
It's not like super funny as a joke. It's just like kind of clever, and I like it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
One of
no,
those jokes that's like,
It's just satisfying. It's a satisfaction.
Someone had to get away with it. I'm glad it was you. Yeah.
Yeah, I accept this.
exactly.
Michelle.
Right. Hello, Michel Vianco, storyteller GM of this fantastic crew. There was a bit of a collective WTF last session that I'm so looking forward to everyone diving back into this session. You can catch up with me on Twitter if you want to talk about things gaming, streaming, and authoring at Michelle V69. Or alternately at my website, michelrvaillancourt.com. And of course, I'm on Amazon, both Canada, US, UK, blah, blah, blah. So, yeah.
Sweet. Danny.
I was thinking about watching this show called The Squid Game.
I
I
hear it's this
hear it's like
anime.
anime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anime undertones. Like I don't know.
I like anime and all. I just like I don't mean I don't know if
But it's
I
been
like
highly rated by Jamie.
I mean,
Here's something
yeah,
that you will appreciate, Danny. It is a scathing commentary on capitalism. All right.
I mean I love that, but I'm sad all the time already. And that's what I was told was that I should seriously make a consideration as to whether or not I wanted to watch it because my friend Eli knows that I do not particularly like to be sad when I'm watching TV all the time.
Okay, that's fair. It is dark as hell and very like.
No, charming.
I'm very
Thrilling.
soft.
I mean,
That
so-
said, that was that said, that was not helped at all by the fact that I watched the 4th season of On My Block last night. The whole season by accident. Meant to start it, finished it. Love those kids. Dear Netflix, pay them what they're worth. Oh my god, what a brilliant show. I love it, and also I am very sad. That's all. Yes.
I see.
That's me.
Hi, I'm Chantel. I'm dark as hell and very soft. Which is genuinely why I almost interrupted you and then went. Those are two different things. Said those things. Your brain went. What?
Do you also have anime undertones?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Have you
I've
seen
met
her?
Liam. Yes.
Yes.
They do. They do have anime
Have
undertones.
you met my husband and my dragon?
Wait, where's the bear? Where's the bear that sits on your desk that you stole?
It's Beppo.
Beppo.
It's Beppo.
Grand Theft Ursinoid.
Also, this is the little version of me that someone made from when I was working on the Book of Mormon.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
that's fantastic.
Someone made me a pop Funko. That's
That's
what.
wonderful.
now that we know what sits on my desk.
I just wanted Beppo to make an appearance. I'm done.
Beppo is my friend that I stole from Liam and refused to give back, despite the fact that Liam has asked several times.
Well, yes, but this was in exchange for a toaster, wasn't it?
No, actually, this came after the toaster. Yeah, this is not revenge for the toaster. Revenge for the toaster will be imminent. I know I said that publicly, so you're all in on it now. You're accomplices. Good job. Twitter, Chantel B, LinkedIn, not LinkedIn. What the hell? I have no intention of watching Squid Game, despite the fact that one of my clients literally sat there and made me write down that I would watch Squid Game.
And they do that?
Yeah, but they're not. There's no obligation for me to actually do what I write down.
Yeah, but how did you get bullied by? I don't. Never mind.
A lot of therapy is modeling behaviors that you want to see in the world around you.
Yeah.
In conclusion, I don't know how it happened.
You let them give you homework so that you could give them homework effectively.
Yeah.
Maybe.
No, I give them homework. They may or may not do it. So, you know what? It's kind of the same. Beyond that, no one ever asked about KJ, and I would like to know if KJ is okay. And where we can find KJ when she's not here. We'll find that information out while we go through the intro.
I'm like, who's gonna say it?
We'll read it after the intro, so KJ has time.
Brilliant, Jamie.
We have not yet given
Brilliant,
KJ a box.
It's true. We need just a little seat somewhere, like here, just there. We'll be back after this message from the intro. We've returned. And there's a Wellington.
Hello, Wellington.
Hello,
World's
little
cutest.
fluff boy.
I was just gonna say, awesome. All right then. So I'll ask for a volunteer. Who would like to give their thoughts on recent events?
1, 2, 3, not it.
Alexandre.
A lot of shit happened and none of it was to do with me, and it's great. I don't think you understand
2 years?
how long it has been since none of this shit had to do with me. I love it. I'm having a great time. I mean, my tea was knocked over, but other than that, it's great. There's some planar travel. There's a bird falling out of the sky, which is apparently not normal. But you know, birds fall. There's a whole Edgewater learning full 60 thing going on before it's possible. And there's extra dragon that may have come from another plane, but may not have. And I still, despite all of that, don't think any of it has to do anything with me.
Unlawful Disorder, now with Extra Dragon.
Yay.
How about the
0 dragons? Now there's 2 dragons.
I was just going to say they're multiplying. Yes.
3 if
So
you
how-
count Chantel's.
Things are getting out of hand here. So, my soul, as the resident representative of the resident dragon, why don't you give us your take on things?
Ha! I feel like a lot of what we just learned would be more interesting if the situation was less dire. But that's not the situation. Zoom went.
It was me.
Mm.
Ignore it. It was fine.
I saw nothing.
If you think you saw something,
Wow, gaslight the audience, why don't you?
I legitimately didn't.
see? Jamie reviewed what just happened and stated.
But if you think you see something, then you didn't. Then if you think you didn't see anything, doesn't that mean that you did?
That seems like
We're not
a tell.
here for your mind control games, Danny. We're here for My Soul's recap. That's what we're here for.
You know what? You're right. Carry on.
I mean, we already knew other planes were involved, but this was kind of a lot. I mean, just the existence of another dragon. I don't really know how Heel's going to take it. I don't think it's going to go badly, which seemed to be everyone's fear, but can't imagine it's going to go well at the same time. It's kind of a lot to go from the last left alive to the one left behind. If that's even what happened. A lot of new questions. Hopefully some of it will get answered when we get to the ship.
All right. Spider, thoughts?
I think this is the first inclination I've ever had that my grandmother lied to me. So that's kind of like a bit sad, but also very cool. I mean, my grandfather was already cool. He was like the first sky captain ever. And now turns out he was like a interplanar hero of some sort, saving people from dragons. And I like it. Assuming that my guesses are all correct.
Always hope, I suppose.
Indeed. Not exactly sure where he is. If we have to go to the elemental plane of air to rescue him, that's a lot of that's just a lot. But I'm hoping there will be some clues in the ship itself. And I'm hoping that we can somehow peacefully negotiate our way through a tribe of orcs known for their incomprehensibility. And best case, we have a dragon, and worst case, we have a dragon.
Always have a dragon handy.
Wow, that's a change in tune from Kasra.
Oh no, that was from me. I just said it in her voice.
All right. Okay. Speaking of Kazra, what's Kazra's take on recent events?
Well,
Plus minus a teacup.
yeah, it's I mean, I think everything it's fine. It's only that everything that I know about the history of my people on this plane is probably false, or at the very least not complete. Let's look at this. If I'm going to be positive about it, focusing on the positive side of things, maybe I get some cool armor out of this in the future at some point, and that sounds fun and cool for me. Didn't know that we're really more refugee than warrior, or so I have been told every day for the past, I mean, aside from like in stories and stuff like that, for the past, 20 some odd years. So seeing all of the warriors in the vision hanging out with Spider's grandpa, and then Spider speaks full 60, and that kind of confirms my suspicion that they definitely know each other, and the future is the past. And well, I'm in it now, aren't I?
Yes, you absolutely are. All right, then. Does anyone have a preference about how this scene reopens?
Yeah. Yes, please. Immediately.
Okay. So, spilt tea, figuratively and literally, has been largely cleaned up. The caravan is underway again, and all of you have been left with a resounding sense of, what the was that? So I presume there's going to be some conversation going on. So by all means, converse. You've got, I think by the last calculation I did, you're about 4 hours from where you'll have to basically pitch camp. And then that point would put you about 8 to 10 hours away from the border of where it is you're going.
Yeah. I mean, we already had a little bit of conversation because I revealed
we did.
Azra that
Yes.
I spoke full 60. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But
We babbled.
So essentially what I'm saying is, if you feel that needs to continue, because we kind of left it on a moment, then we can pick up there, or it can be 3 or 4 hours later with the camp, with you folks having pulled over, as it were, for the night. The 2 bisonophilos are grazing, having been anchored to an anchor. As I said, the wagon you folks are using essentially is sort of the equivalent of a camper van. Yeah, the back half is cargo, the front half is living space. So yeah. So small fire crackling. What are the plans for supper?
I like the idea that it's at the campfire some hours later, and Spider just like stands up and announces to the group, "I want it to be very clear, I have no intention of selling any technology that allows people to move through planes or that start an entire continent-wide war, Bruxa. Just in case anyone was worried about that."
Azra raises a wing as if to ask a question.
Yes. The feathers.
Let's see. Huh. Why did you need to make that clear?
Well, there have been some questions about my motives at various times, and I wouldn't say that I could see it being within character of the kind of person some people think I am.
Okay, I see that Alexandria also has her hand up, so I'm gonna I'm gonna cede the floor in just a second here, but a follow-up question. No, more of a statement, really. That is exactly what Hio sounded like when I showed up, and they were like, "Oh no, Hio's not going to eat you, and he won't devour the city." Remember how I hadn't considered that before it was said out loud? That's the moment I'm having right now. I just wanted you to know. Okay, Alexandria, go.
I would I would just like to ask where the vision came from, because it didn't have any kind of music attached to it, and that's not me.
Yeah, I that was the next part.
Where did it originate? Because it was not me. Who heard it first? Who saw it first? Everyone saw it.
Whose fault is this?
Everyone saw
Who are
it,
we
but
going
we
to
were
blame
also
for this?
We were connected with the psyche thing that you do, Mysel. So I don't know. Do you have any sense that one of us was seeing it and the others were seeing it through them, or?
Do I have that sense? I guess.
All right, try that again, because there was an awful lot of roundabouting in that. So yeah,
Would my soul have a sense of for whom the vision started at? That's not correct. For whom the vision
Where did the
was
vision
originally
start?
for.
Who originated the vision, given we were all connected psychically?
All those words, they're better.
Okay, we'll use those words because they're better. Got it. Just because I enjoy chaos, I believe it worked out that Spider was the one who actually rolled worst of the lot of you. So I think my soul is going to have a difficulty distinguishing whether or not it originated with either my soul or Alexandri, and then pretty sure it was Kazra got a look at it after that, and then Spider came in last, kind of thing.
Kazra
But that
rolled the
doesn't
highest.
Oh, okay. Kazra rolled the highest. Very okay. So then I didn't get a chance to review.
Something. It might have been Mysel that rolled the highest, and then Kazra, but then Alexandri, because it was not. I was like, oh, that's very high.
Okay, got it. All right. So if that's the case, then yes, that's sort of the like by virtue of the where do I hear the sound coming from, if you will? Yeah, what part of the connection is it leaking through, given the fact that it's essentially a web, if you will? Yeah, I think the sensation that will be left is it might have been Kazra, but possibly not, because that doesn't make a lot of sense.
Not it.
Also, I know that I am not it because, number one, no song. Number two, no other song. Number three, no broken instruments. Number four, not drenched in water.
My visions don't usually have that other very unpleasant song. I will say that usually my thoughts are pretty sans those, but also I don't have visions. So
I mean, it took you a long time to get to that one. It took you a very long time to. You said that one last. I just like to make that clear.
Yes, I was ramping up to the one that's the most important. Put me out of the running, like least important to most important.
Why
Like,
would
no,
you
they
start
don't
with
always have songs, but also I don't have them. So, like, no,
Apparently
the
now
bag
you
I
do.
stole was but like the bag I stole was not blue, but also I didn't steal a bag. Like it was like that.
Just so you know, in future, I would probably go in reverse order if what you're saying is true.
Well, different people are different in different ways, aren't they?
I know, but now you sound suspicious.
You sound suspicious.
I always sound suspicious.
Yes, I know. So who are you to give me instructions on how to say things that don't sound suspicious?
Well, I'm just saying to do it in the opposite ways as I do it.
How would that be helpful?
Because then you won't sound suspicious.
So you're saying not to sound like you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You said that's what you would do, so I'm thinking maybe I should do the opposite of that, but okay.
Good luck.
And good luck to you. What were we talking about?
My soul turns to Spider and says, I guess the short answer is it's hard to tell. It's like Kazra might have been the first to notice. but that doesn't necessarily mean she was the point of origin.
And we have no idea what sent the vision. You couldn't trace the magic or something.
Well, why don't we all?
Wasn't looking out for that at the time.
Why don't we all think about it?
I understand. Sorry, when I say you couldn't, I don't mean go back in time and do it. I mean, like, is there a way you could do it now?
Maybe. I feel like it'd be easier with the airship.
That makes sense.
I mean,
As like a focus, and then sort of work back from there.
Okay.
You don't need to raise your hand, Alexandria. Like, just
It just
That's
seems
what that
polite.
was.
it is polite. It's very polite. It's just, we're all friends having a conversation.
Okay. If it is the airship that is doing it, then my question becomes, what if getting to the airship means we're all just constantly lost in vision world? Like, if it is the vision and we're this far away, and it's vision for a little bit, what happens if we get to the airship and it turns out the airship is doing it, and then it's just lost in vision forever? Because we don't know what's causing it.
Well, I hadn't actually considered that it might be the airship itself causing the visions.
Well, I don't know what else it would be. And I'm used to, like, sentient things that don't make sense.
I imagine we'll have a better idea as we get closer, if that's the case.
Casper, maybe you should walk.
Rude.
I mean, I just don't want you to fall out of the sky with more visions.
Hey, Alexandria, maybe you should walk.
Okay. I have legs.
Yes, I also have legs, thanks.
Okay, so
lifted
walk
wings
then.
down. They're not made for walking, and neither... You don't want to walk this far. I can fly.
Okay, well,
I can fly. Why would I walk?
because you can also fall. If I fall, I'm just fall. Look, the ground is right here. It's great. If you fall,
I'll take
What?
bike chances. Anything's better than walking.
do you want to ride in the Bisonophalo?
The Hubin and what anima?
This guy.
Novelo. Urian Boris.
No, I'm okay. I will just
Are you
aim
saying that
better
to the
next.
Bisonophalo?
No.
It just sounded like it had become a conversation between you and the Bisonophalo.
I will just aim better next time. I'm sorry about your teacup.
It's not the teacup. I don't want you breaking your head.
It's pretty hard. I think I'll be okay. Got a lot of feathers, a lot of cushion. I've had worse falls. And she kind of like takes off, but she doesn't go up that high. Just, obviously.
I
She does a little twist. Like, I am not made. If you were this aerodynamic, you wouldn't walk either. Trust me.
know. I might, though, if I fell out of the sky because of a vision when I don't have visions.
If I stopped flying every time I fell out of the sky for one reason or another, I would happily and readily be walking. I'm just accepting it as one of my many occupational risks of hanging out with you guys.
Okay, how about this
Now
one? Okay, what about this one then? If we cross a bridge, if we're going to cross a bridge, you come down. Because if we're crossing a bridge, that means there's probably some kind of water or a cliff or something up high. I just don't want you falling somewhere we can't get you.
I think I think you're thinking like a terrestrial being.
I think I'm thinking like someone who knows that some things can just fall from the sky. And then they get hurt and broken. And I do not want you getting hurt and broken.
You're just thinking like a terrestrial being. If there is a bridge, I will simply fly to the other side and wait for you guys there.
I'm thinking like someone who knows to the extent to my ability to heal. I can't heal you if you're dead. Not
Good to know.
Not yet.
Kaz is literally like sort of like floating, like sort of like floating on the like the air current, like just like right in front of her. She like points and hand at her. She's like, you know, good to know.
Not yet. Not yet. I won't actually. Hold that thought. Maybe I can. I don't know.
And then I fail to see what the problem is here.
I might be able to heal from. I mean, death is the
Can you heal
strangest of
yourself?
illnesses.
Because that solves a lot of our problems, I think.
Huh?
Can you heal yourself if you die?
No. I'm
Oh.
dead.
Bummer.
Can't talk.
Bummer.
Yeah.
On the subject of cliffs, how close are we to the just general edge of this area we're on? Like looking at the map, how they've got it just sort of like slopes down relatively quickly.
Yeah. So where you folks are, if you follow the road from Cliff Spider down past the windmill, there's some farming areas, and then there's a burnt ruins just on the edge of the Gifted Whisper Warrior territory. You're in that neighborhood, which puts you 12-ish kilometers away from the drop.
All right, so we're not just like in sight of it or something.
No. A Kazra would be able to see it.
Oh, sure.
Altitude, but yeah.
And are we out of sight of just besides the ruins, like other dwellings, other signs of people, I guess?
In this area, no. This is some of the space that the Confederacy tried to push into, and essentially it just got too expensive to try and maintain. The raids were semi-incessant to the point they just gave up. So if you will, if you take a look at the map, there's sort of a few of these right along the edge of the Goblinkin territories, and for lack of a better way of putting it, it's a DMZ. Officially demilitarized zone. Officially, the Confederacy claims it. In practice, they do periodically patrol it, but they're not sending anything other than troops out here. They're not attempting to move colonists out here. They're using it as a buffer between them and the Goblinkin territories.
Right. So away from prying eyes.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Like, as I said, if Kaz, gains a little bit of altitude and is looking back, towards Cliff Spider, they would be able to see the lights of the various little homesteads and what have you along the road stretching back. But where you folks are at right now, it's 2 or 3. It's a couple of kilometers in all directions where it's population you and no one else.
I mean, she's up there so she can tell them like what's up. So
yeah, understood.
I mean, we still don't know what caused it. And Kazra might fall from the sky because of it.
you keep saying that.
And it comes out of nowhere. I mean, the Buffalo didn't hear it or see it because they kept moving. But then maybe they'll see it in like a week or two when they catch up.
Honestly, I didn't think that's how it worked, but at the same time, I don't know if that's how it works. Maybe it does. Who knows?
Excuse me while I create lore for this game. Personal pleasure. Because they have a slow stopping speed, so they must just be slow. Is my thought that they'll catch up. I'd like to ask the birds. Did you see anything? Oh, wait, hang on. I'm going to be more specific before I... Let's be more specific. Did you happen to see any visions?
So the no space bar, no punctuation equivalent roughly amounts to, well, they saw Kazra, and then they saw the bisonophilo. Is that what they're called? They've never heard of a bisonophilo before. Is that what they call? They're really cool because they've got like 6 horns you can bounce on, and that's really fun. And then they were chasing Kazra because she was kind of falling from the sky, and then Spider kind of caught her but didn't, because then he did something really cool that didn't quite look like falling over, but still managed to. Anyway, and then the teacup went flying through the air, so they got a drink before all the drops hit. And then the drops were really, really warm, by the way. And then Miso was asking really strange questions.
Okay. So no. Good to know.
That's not true. They saw all kinds of things. And they'll start at the top of the list again.
Saw so much. So very much. You know what? I really like the fact that you can see. I would appreciate it if you just let me know if you see anything dangerous.
I see spider.
Sometimes it is not spiders that is dangerous. Because spider is less dangerous than other things. Anything that is more dangerous than spider.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mysel wanders off.
You have a bird on your head.
It makes sense.
Yeah, I think Spider watches Mysel go, but Spider's going to do some cooking.
Very good.
Alexandria will not.
There is going to be a substantial amount of screaming from a very small bird about a very, very, very large lizard that just showed up and ate Mysel.
Kazra, it's kind of uncomfortable to watch. I just...
It's kind of uncomfortable to do what now?
To watch Mysel turn.
Oh, Kaz hasn't seen this.
Oh, don't go. Don't watch that.
Was Kaz following Mysel as he with her eyes? I mean, rather than not necessarily physically following Mysel.
Yes, automatically. I feel like if no one's warned her in time, she might be in trouble.
Yeah, he definitely didn't think to tell anyone. He kind of forgot. What with being specifically absent-minded.
So should I roll specifically to not fall out of the sky again, or?
I mean, it depends how you feel about watching a child turn inside out.
I'm gonna go ahead and
That's
make
not
that
accurate. It's like there's a moment where it just kind of looks like he's like bending forward, and then you realize it's more that he's like folding over and in, and then as he like progressively like collapses into a smaller and smaller space, the dragon sort of unfolds from behind.
Yeah, that role's important, I think.
Until where there was a child, there is now a rather large dragon. Well,
I am looking for the correct die to make this roll.
That large for a dragon, but you know.
Yeah, no,
Rather
she's
large
seen
creature.
the dragon. Just not how it
Well,
happened.
keep in mind that the statistical sample about dragon sizes in the modern era is exactly 1, so you're as big as they get.
Yeah.
You're a damn big dragon.
The
By
largest
every...
dragon you've ever seen.
Yep.
There's a D20. That's what I needed. That's the one I was missing. They're the ones that get lost the most often.
D20s.
Yeah. The ones I throw and put in dice jail, you know. Okay, let's see. It's not the best that it could be, put it that way.
Yeah, we need creepy dragon artwork as well as creepy dragon voice.
Please. Hang on. Updated character sheet. There it is. The movement roll, right? So I get 2d6 on top of this, which we can only hope will save me.
It did not save her.
Thanks, John. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm just... Did it?
17.
Oh, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Probably.
I think she cranes her neck like almost all the way around and like flies into a cloud and gets confused a little bit, but like she's ultimately fine. She's able to like sort of spin out of it.
I was just going to say, your sense of what the hell is going on is further confused by two very small birds screaming at you, one in front of each eyeball. That a big lizard thing just ate my soul.
You said of danger, and it just ate the child.
It's definitely more scary than Spider.
It's hard not to take the two little birds too seriously, like, or too literally, I guess you could say. But it does throw her off course just a little bit. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah, don't watch that.
Oh, yeah,
I just want to thank you for saying it in time.
In time for what? You don't fall.
Kazra is going to dramatically free fall from the sky. And then catch herself at the last minute. But she is...
But it definitely like runs.
Alexandri's hands are already up to cast a spell.
And then she catches herself and like lands. Just mean.
Cool trick.
Thanks.
Are you hungry?
Hungry?
I'm making dinner.
Yeah. Yes, please. Ravenous.
You see here is sort of not quite pacing, but like sort of almost a bit unsure of like where to go, and then chooses up
Oh dear.
and
Pretty.
just goes.
It's just gone?
Just keeps going up.
Just for fun, or?
Well-
There's going to be about 15 seconds where you are blissfully unaware of the thwack, 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 thwack on the top of your eye ridge. As while Alexandri is having to deal with a little bird yelling that little bird is going to save my soul, and it takes about, like I say, 15 seconds before that. No, that's not air friction. What is that? Oh.
Scramble ever was the brave one.
Let my friend go right now.
Open your mouth!
There's an in-flight meal. This is great. It's vegetarian. Never mind. That's not at all the thought process.
That sounded suspicious.
He once sort of works out what's happening and just sort of pauses for a moment.
So for scale, it would be the equivalent of something slightly smaller than an ant having grabbed you by hanging onto the end of one of your eyebrows and repeatedly stomping its foot on your eyebrow ridge as a method of attempting to get your attention. Like eventually you go, that isn't right, but I can't tell what's going on.
Also aware of Scramble and Oat, so it's just like,
yes. So like I say, it takes about 15 seconds before it's
it's sort of like the sharp upwards ascent stops and he just sort of stays in place for a bit and for like sighing deeply. And it's just like, you're right. This is not. Thank you. And returns.
Returns or just turns into Mysel? I'm just checking.
Returns to land
Okay.
while still being here.
Still as Dragon.
Sort of returns back to where he took off and then starts sort of padding back to camp.
Bum, 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 bum.
Like a large
so what-
cat.
I was just going to
That
say,
is
so I have
scaly.
I have a question for you. If you were a bisonophilo and you were suddenly looking at something that had a yawn slightly wider than your head,
You would wait 2 to 3 business days and then freak the fuck out.
I mean, those things are definitely tied up, like proper. But
But
I'm not
still.
saying that they don't.
To the
Pretty bad.
ruins. We found something with established foundation.
Yeah, I mean, two
suffice to say-
bisonophilo can probably pull a tree, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
One
Yeah.
I'm on their
could
side.
probably.
Like,
So suffice to say that the night has gotten awfully lively as the two bisonophilo are stomping all 6 feet and thrashing all both pairs of horns around and making riotously trumpetous noises. They're obviously 12 feet tall, and you're getting way too close, and you're probably going to get stuck in the eye with a 12-foot tall bisonophilo quad horn. You want to back up there, Mr. Lizard. We're talking some...
Hale,
Oh, yeah.
Hale, please back up. I like my teacups.
Gives them realizes what's happening and gives them their space, essentially.
Yeah.
You're not any less threatening from over there. I just want to put that out there.
But
The
they
good
might
news
not
is that
know
by
that.
the good news is bisonophilo have very bad night vision. So as he recedes, so as Hale recedes from the edge of the firelight, the racket goes down substantially.
Poor sense of reach.
me in this situation, just constantly.
Mhm.
Oh my god. It's nice to see you here.
Yeah, since been a while.
Are you a planar entity?
Apparently.
To the questions.
I mean, apparently is one question.
I gather you sort of got the news.
None of what you saw. No, I'll rephrase. All of what you saw. That was news to me.
So you've never heard of this like one horn evil dragon boy before?
No. Haven't heard of another dragon.
Well,
Have heard of the one horn, but didn't know it was that.
are you talking about the wall melting vision that happens at time?
Mm,
Or are you
No.
talking about another one horn?
the Lucan have references to the one horn.
Well, that's interesting. Maybe you should tell us everything about that then.
Oh, that's something you'll have to ask my son about.
You don't know anything?
I know it because he knew it.
Doesn't that mean you know it now?
in my forgive me time, sure. It was not the main thrust of what I was given. The immediate transfer is limited. The focus was on the vision. My soul's recall is better than mine. He says with a little bit of discomfort.
That's
Or
awkward.
embarrassment is probably better.
Sort of awkward because it's hard to be the last of the great dragons if there are other great dragons and you just don't remember they existed.
It is slightly different to be the last surviving compared to the one left behind. If that is what happened.
Yes. It's very different.
Also rough that after all this time, the first dragon we discover seems to be a bit of a dick.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that dragon may not even be the same kind of dragon if it's from a different plane.
It's a possibility. Didn't look. There's only so much you can gain from the vision, and it didn't look any different from other dragons.
Right.
There wasn't anything unexpected, I guess, beyond its existence.
Ayo, do me a favor and make a logic roll. Take advantage 1. Due to familiarity with the subject.
Oh, that was kind of helpful. Was quite helpful, I should say. 18.
18. One of the things that you recall about the note, if you will, left for you by Mysel was that the dragon they saw in the vision looked very similar to Heo in both coloration, scale pattern, etc., etc. I mean, obviously differences between individuals, but the thing that just sort of sticks out with you is that, quote, you're about the same size. You have been aging backwards. You are a, quote, young dragon right now.
There is something else to consider, I guess. This one horn, whoever they are, they're not that old for a dragon. You might have noticed we're roughly the same size. Dragons don't stop growing. That dragon is about as old as I am. But I doubt they are aging backwards. I didn't hear that.
I was mouthing it. You wouldn't have heard it.
Right.
It's the don't stop. That's the part. Alexandria is ignoring the rest of it. The rest of it's not as scary.
city-sized dragons.
Yeah, I know, but like, what about continent-sized dragons? I'm just saying. Like, forget the city. What about like, the planet? You know. I didn't realize dragons were like goldfish, but okay.
Opposite.
I mean, maybe the odd one was mistaken for a mountain range.
So there's some.
I want a new plane to go to, please.
I know which one you shouldn't pick.
How do I not get there?
Your guess is as good as mine.
So there's some chance we're just dealing with a shitty teenager.
Excuse me.
Essentially.
Hi.
I apologize. Another shitty teenager.
Fucking rude.
Ezra cracks up at that. She's covering her mouth.
Question it raises for me is if this dragon is comparatively young, then where did they come from?
And if they're not, why are they the way they are?
Mm.
We should ponder that while we take a break. We're going to do that. See you
Yeah,
soon.
let's do that.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
Think you might be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not going to eat me?
He's not going to eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
He's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hero's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
You know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not going to eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not going to eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think they would be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
He's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
Sort of reverting back to Elvish, like,
Just try.
what language?
You know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not going to eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not going to eat the city. I'm not going to eat the city.
Sam,
Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You.
Think they would be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that, won't you, Eric? Eric,
Are you going to eat them?
Considers it.
By the way, you have no clue what she's on about. Like, you've never seen one of these things before.
He's a vegan!
Oh, what?
Definitely don't know what that is.
I don't care what he is. He's got big teeth.
You do have big teeth. Nothing.
Hugo's grasp of the trade tongue is
Oh,
body.
do you? Oh, do you? What do you eat them?
Sort of looks back up. I will not consume that person.
Could you be a little more generic and just say you're not going to consume anyone in the city as well? Just to make it easier.
That'd be great.
So reverting back to Elvis, like,
Just try.
what language?
You know?
I'm not gonna eat people.
I know you're not going to eat people.
Language is hard.
I know. Just say it the way I'm telling you to say it. I'm not going to eat the city.
I'm not gonna eat the city.
Yes.
I'm not gonna eat the city. Mental image got too funny.
Why hands?
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You.
Think they would be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I just have to remember to respond to it.
Well, you'll do that.
Game.
We're back to game time. Hello, game.
Hello, games.
Return to the game.
We have returned.
Games.
Return of the game?
Return of the
Return?
game. Return of
Okay.
the game. Can't sing anymore because copywritten. Okay.
Sad.
Sad.
I was just gonna say that vaguely sounded Diana Rossish, but I'm not sure where. I'm not sure why I would know that. But anyway, keep going.
No, I'm not. I can't. Copyright reasons. I just said that. So, we have a young dragon. Dragons grow forever. We have
That's not
a
what he said.
teenager.
They don't grow forever.
I mean,
They
they don't
stop
stop
growing.
growing.
They eventually die.
That's what I heard.
So do I,
Yeah, you-
emotionally.
They definitely live long enough that there were a lot of people who believed they were immortal. But that didn't make them actually immortal.
Ask any giant.
Do they emotionally grow or do they just physically grow?
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, goody. So all we have to do is just wait for another, I don't know, like 500 years, and then this dragon will be emotionally stable enough for us to have a conversation with and maybe ask not to kill us.
I don't think we have that long. In more ways than one.
Well, I
Feel
mean,
like you could-
all we have to do is ask fate to change things. And fate seems to like your family. Because how do you explain planar travel and the ticking clock that has extra ticks without extra time?
I mean, you remember the part of the vision where the debt had to be paid twice over?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't got to that bit yet. It's rather generous to say that fate likes.
Well, I mean, as long as you pay your debt, the fate is still going to like you.
Well, the first part was my brother's leg. I don't
We
think the second.
assume.
I mean, it literally happened in front of my eyes.
So we just need another leg. I mean, another leg is a good price for how long? How old are you now?
Next question.
I'm just saying, like, if that's how many extra years you get, then it's a good.
Yeah, I'm not
price.
complaining about the fact that I'm still alive, Alexandria. I'm just saying, like, it might be a bold assumption to say that, you know, fate isn't getting its fair end of the deal.
2 legs.
And whatever I happen to do with my life.
Oh. You don't want to disappoint fate.
Well, that's a whole nother kettle of fish.
What does a fish have to do with it?
No, it's just saying it's another can of worms.
Why do you have a can of worms?
Alexandri. That's a whole nother fraught topic.
Yes, very much so. Hale, you're not the only one that struggles with language.
Thought I was doing all right, but then
Then there was
I
a
lost
kettle of
track.
fish and a can of worms. What a fraught topic.
I will say, I don't know if this is going to be useful, but maybe keep it in mind. If this one horn is young, or at least youngish, it is possible that the lightning is the only one it can use, hasn't branched out. But that's not necessarily true.
Only one. So, Hale, what else can you do?
Ah, I see. The The common misconception is that dragons breathe fire. This is inaccurate. It is merely channeling magic into energy. Fire, one of the more common expressions, but it's not the only one. And every dragon will have one that they are innately capable of. But with practice, with time, you can branch out. And he'll essentially like just blow a ball of fire into his hand. And then like and just sort of like while it's holding it, sort of just like move the hand around like and come back, and now it's like just a ball of ice. And then he'll sort of go back, and then it's like lightning crackling, and then he'll just sort of but often the primary one is the better practiced, more formidable.
Good. Yes. How often do dragons fight dragons?
Well, it's been a while.
I mean, when there was more than one.
No. There was conflicts, but not. They were rarely fatal. And for it to devolve to violence was rare, but not unheard of.
How? You don't have to answer this. It might feel uncomfortable, and I don't want you to be uncomfortable, especially given what you just showed us. How would you stop you? You don't have to answer this. I'm just asking.
Finds like a tree or something, and sort of like gets a branch off and kind of down to sort of, you know, a human proportioned branch, essentially. Finds the equivalent of an apple, I guess, to sort of skewer it. So apple on a stick. Holds it out to Spider. Could you walk over there, please? And hold that over your head.
Spider walks over there and holds it over his
Just gonna double check.
Is he walking towards or away from Kazra? I just need to know.
And toward or away from the Bisonophilo, I feel like that's important.
Pointed
also.
like to a thing away from camp and away from others.
Okay.
Spider is grinning the whole time.
Of course he is.
Alexandre is preparing to heal.
Getting about 50 feet would be where he points. And as he's walking, he was like, I wouldn't worry. I'm fairly certain I remember how to do this.
Comforting.
Turns back to Alexandre Are you able to perceive magic?
Am I? Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Of the, I guess, the detection boon.
Yeah. Yes. I would need to activate that.
I think it's prescience,
Okay.
but it's like level 1, so it's.
I better roll well. Oh. I hate it when that happens. I rolled a natural 20 and a 6 on the 6.
Yeah,
I see all the magic.
I see everything.
12.
I
10.
think it's fine. I think you've well.
Yeah, I know, but in case there's other magic to detect. What's 12 plus 20? 32 plus 2, 34 plus 4, 38?
I don't know what your prescience is, but
34 plus 4 is
Plus
38,
4.
yes.
Yeah, so I rolled 38 to detect.
feels like the boon is turned on. Yes.
Boone might be here.
Boon has
I
arrived.
see magic.
It's strawberry flavored.
There's as he turns back to face Spider, you see just this collection of magic forming around the sort of like throat and mouth, I guess. Just pulling it in. And then just this gout of flame. So that Spider's essentially in the center of, a 15-foot square of fire. You would not be able to see Spider from the fire. There's a lot of magic just coursing through all of that. And then when it stops, Spider is standing in a untouched patch. Spider is complete. From Spider's perspective, the flames literally went around you. It was probably mildly warm.
I was about to ask whether there was the actual feeling of flame. That's cool.
Definitely knew that there was fire around you, but not like, there's like the stick sort of goes up to a certain point and then is just this charred nothing. And then there's this massive patch of scorched around. Probably can be quickly stamped out as required.
You can choose that.
Fire was my initial and I'm more practiced. It is ultimately magic. There is a degree of control. Failing that, and then with the tail just flicks the tree again and just like bashes another limb off. Like a whip crack.
Spider's like walking back, eating the charred apple.
Can't
it's like,
imagine.
I mean, that gives me less hope that we can take this one horn out. Not more, but cool trick.
Yeah. I mean, that was, if that was designed, I don't know. I mean, to be fair, all I asked was how he would stop himself. And what he showed me is that it would be difficult.
I mean, what we saw in the vision was many, many well-armored soldiers trained to fight these things and losing. So, I'm not entirely surprised. But then none of them had a sentient god song on their side, so we'll see.
Well, I don't think it's a god.
I was being loquacious.
I see. Why don't you say words like that instead of can of worms or the other one?
Well, you see, the people I tend to spend a lot of my time around since I was a child prefer that way of speaking. And sometimes I have to translate in my head for how I know you're used to people speaking.
Which one do you think I'm used to?
I spend enough time within the nobility to know what nobles talk like.
Right. Okay. So do that one. I should probably. Are we still all connected? No.
No.
Hale?
It would have been turned off, but even as soon as Maisel went away, it would have, imagine, would have gone away.
Yes.
Because you have to maintain it, surely.
Correct. And as soon as Maisel wasn't here to maintain it, it stopped being maintained. Oddly enough.
I need to talk to Cavs McGee.
Takes a second. He's like, no, this is bad. It was good talking with you all again. Scratches something on the ground, the claw into the dirt.
Hio, just before you go, there's some chance that if we come across these, this clan of orcs in the area, I don't know if Maisel told you about them. They're kind of considered to be weird fanatics about fire.
Yes. It's not a bad plan.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure you were comfortable with it, if it comes to that.
Maisel and I have hidden away from the world for a long time, and it hasn't done us any favors. Probably time to be less careful about being hidden. Proceeds to turn back into Maisel.
Oh, warning.
Yep. Okay.
It's a lot like what happened when Maisel does, only bigger.
There are two very excited small birds zooming around Maisel at just short of going to collide with your nose.
Maisel just ate a dragon. Maisel sort of takes a moment to sort of get his bearings almost, looks down, sees the scratching on Thing, smiles a little bit, and then rubs it out with his foot. Hi.
Hi. Welcome. Welcome back. Do you get as nauseous as we do when that happens?
May have forgot that was a thing.
Sorry. You should try doing that into a mirror and watch it.
I mean, I'm aware, I guess. I can imagine.
Oh, no, you cannot.
No, it's not the same. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
No, it's not.
I mean, you're watching it. I'm doing it.
Have you ever watched it?
Not for a while.
You don't know what it's like.
Things to not do by mirror like lakes. Yes.
He sort of sort of, turns towards Kazza and is just like, I don't think it should be surprising to suggest that it's a little difficult for me to see what's happening in that moment for just a variety of reasons.
I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying.
But, I have.
Oh, so would you like some dragon scorched plains pear?
Oh, he did the fruit on a stick thing. Yeah, he likes that one.
Have you two ever considered opening a restaurant?
It was the idea has been raised by not, and well, yeah, it's most people don't like the level of charcoal he sort of produces.
I figured. I don't actually know if she knows that's what we call her, or what I'm calling her. But I figured that maybe it would be better if I talk to her if all of us can hear.
Yeah, okay. If
Or maybe
everyone
not,
else
I
is
don't
okay
know.
with that.
I don't know. I don't know what's the bad thing if it happens. Maybe it's bad. Maybe it's not a good idea.
I mean, like, I don't know if this is good news or bad news, but if she's capable of affecting us while communicating like this, I don't think us being linked is going to help or going to assist that or hinder that. Like, that's already kind of impressive.
Okay. So what you're saying is if she can do that, then maybe it is a good idea for me to learn from her because she knows a lot.
Well, I mean, it depends on the effect you're going for, really. I don't know what she's capable of. I don't know what she can do. But generally, there's a physical limitation to the range of things. And being able to perceive further than that doesn't change that the magic still comes from you. But that's a general rule, and there might be specific exceptions. I don't know.
Great. Okay.
But if you want, I can link everyone if that is what we wish to do.
Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes. You will feel the link reestablish.
Well.
Here's to tomorrow being an unexciting day.
That's not likely.
Do we want?
Did I say that out loud?
Is it going to be better to try and get her to contact us, or would it be better to try and contact her?
Can you do that?
I mean, I can try.
She's on another plane and you've never seen her.
She wasn't last time I checked.
Yes, she was. She was on a different plane.
No, that was the first time.
Oh, then she was
when
right,
she contacted you with Spider, she was at her grandmother's place.
That's right. Reverse charge call. That's expensive. I'm sure she's rich enough.
And yes, and Mysel had already tracked her back.
That's if she's there, and not
sure.
on another plane of existence.
Yeah, I mean, if you're on another plane of existence, that's just call cannot be
showing
connected.
off. That's an international call. That's extra charges.
Yeah, that's. But if she is within this plane of existence, then Mysel couldn't find her. Okay. It's like 30.
Yeah, no problem.
Against resolve? Yes.
Yeah, she doesn't have a 30 resolve, so no issues.
So we successfully spy on.
Mysel
successfully spies on Carls McGee.
I love how even out of character we're not using that name.
I
Genevieve.
Functionally blank. I was like, it was like as soon as I said Carls McGee, my brain went Genevieve, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Correct.
The order of that was wrong, but thanks, brain.
Yeah, there is bad timing, and then there's that moment where, you know, she's in the process of murdering someone that you start spying. Yeah, so that was really messy.
Do we all see that?
Well,
no.
That is no. That is.
I think
well,
like. Double checking. No, it would just be Mysel.
So yeah, have you ever seen the inside of an abattoir? You?
Well, not physically.
Specifically directed towards keep
Sam.
wanting to say Jamie. Sam, thank you. Yes, Sam.
I mean,
yeah, not physically, I guess. I've seen.
All right. So one of those delightful things that is part of the process is they would hang the animal that is supposed to be dying upside down, usually by its ankles, so that gravity carries the blood out of the throat. So you are treated to the sight of 3 children with mess, I will use that phrase, still splattering the floor from where they're hanging. One of them is twitching. And all of them have had the tongues cut out so she doesn't have to listen to their screaming. And that's not the most disturbing part. The most disturbing part is that this is over an altar, and the mess, blood, whatever you want to call it, that's pouring down is boiling away into this charnel gray-black vapor that's sort of moving serpentine-like through the air in the scene. So none of it's reaching the altar that this is happening over. It is obviously being transformed into something else.
And is she like just inside some like a structure?
Yeah, she obviously in a dimly lit yet very expensively appointed religious place. Probably call it a shrine in terms of size. Not a, at most it's a chapel, but Yeah, big enough for the obligatory glowing pentagram, or not pentagram, but marks on the floors where the these carved stonework is glowing of its own accord in a light haze, that doesn't quite touch the floor. There are various what look like obelisks made of obsidian around the place that seem to actually have shadows moving inside them. And the vapor is slowly being drawn in this very serpentine, sinuous kind of way towards the group of 8 of these obelisks and is being absorbed into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I found her. And like for everyone else, Maisel just kind of sat down and then sort of, I guess, they gazed into the middle distance. Trying to think, there's not an easy way to put this. She is currently butchering children for some kind of ritual.
Genoveva?
Oh, I haven't linked you.
No, I'm calling her.
Hang on, let me put you on. Hang on.
Oh, I see.
I'm disrupting this.
Please hold. What? Where's her? That's 2d8 and advantage 2. What?
Let us hop to a break, and we'll be right back.
Yeah, sure.
Have you considered that you might like a disguise that doesn't involve being wrapped up in veils?
Yes.
Will you let me do your makeup?
No.
You...
Think don't be afraid.
You look like you need a ride. You look like you need a ride. I'm here to help, but I don't think that I can fit your friend there. Can you ask them if they are going to eat me?
Depends
In
on
that
your
case-
answer.
My name is Michel Vaillancourt. I'm the games master and storyteller for Unlawful Disorder. I've been asked to give a summary of events of the game, but that seems a little strange because, well, that's the job of the players. Don't ask me what the story is, I'm just the guy telling it. So, let's talk about how we got here. So, about a year ago, I saw a bunch of really talented people doing some really cool stuff, and I thought, well, that's cool, I'll have to keep them in mind. And a little while after that, I got a call from a roleplay channel asking me to set up a game. They wanted a European time zone friendly game. So I went back and I called up the cool people doing the cool stuff. So that would be Chantel and company. Cool. So, after that, we took a little bit of time, discussed a good D&D campaign, and I brought forward one of my homebrew worlds. And they looked at me and said, no.
You're sure he's not gonna eat me?
He's not gonna eat you.
Okay, I'm a friend then.
Depends
In
on
that
your
case,
answer.
It's not the name that's on the bounty, and that's all that matters to me.
Okay. Now I
you'll do that, won't you, Aerith? Aerith.
We're back.
Hello.
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 Oh, yes, there we are. We are back. All right. So the short version is the GM just screwed up. I had forgotten that one of the Lion's Veils for this campaign is visible injury violence children. So I had a player reach out to me and say, hey, not cool with this. So hence we cut to a break. We chatted it out. What I'm going to do is retcon. Those were not children. They were adults, at least. The rest of the scene stands. The purpose of what the nasty person is doing stands. It is human sacrifice. Everyone seems okay with that, but it was not children, and we are just so. My apologies to everyone in the audience, by the way, who I made uncomfortable with that. That's I'm having an off night and I screwed up. So we continue from there, and yeah. So, but that's why, particularly in live streams or any tabletop game, safety system is paramount. If someone's having a bad day, you can let things come out of your mouth that make perfect sense in a slasher movie that don't work very well at a gaming table. So yeah. So again, my apologies to the players as well as the audience, and we continue. So,
are you sure you want? Okay, well,
Yes.
now. All right. No, I mean, like, I get stopping what she's doing, sacrificing people. That's bad.
Yes.
Yes, with you on that one. Just don't also want to be the ones on the sacrificial altar.
So 18 and 11. Oh yeah, she heard you.
See, this is why Alexandri's waking up the gods. I'm just saying. Wow.
The funny thing is my soul still watching?
Yeah.
Okay. So my soul is going to be very aware of the fact that when Alexandri bellows out, nothing happens initially. And then what looks to be a sort of clockworky kind of thing, a clockwork version of Twiggy from the old Buck Rogers show. Hello, mistress, call for you. And there's just going to be that moment of I just got started irritation, followed by wait, who?
Did I understand the reference? No. Did I enjoy it immensely? Absolutely.
And then the little again clockwork that comes up to about there on Spider, kind of clunky pipe work.
You know
the
what?
one you told me to watch. The one you told me to watch turns around.
The image is perfect
Oh.
in my mind, so the image is perfectly clear. I'm
Wally?
delighted. I'm delighted.
I was just going to say I'll find a picture and post it because I think it's funny.
Please.
But it was just mentally the image I had. Anyway, so yes, it's like I said, I did like a wind-up toy. And then there's this kind of
Hello.
okay, that one I can't ignore is sort of the expression on her face. It's stop. Of course, my soul's perspective follows her as she moves mercifully out of the chapel. It's a few windy, badly maintained, dismal kind of corridors, and then up a spiral stair into what looks like a reasonably well-appointed and comfortable room, with a big honking golden eagle sitting in the window, kind of looking into the room, chewing on something that it picked up along the way. For those of you who don't know, things that golden eagles can pick up along the way include sheep.
Kazra? Beast?
And she goes over to where everyone else would have, the very fancy round table in the middle of the room. She has a round hourglass structure, probably 2 meters or more across, that has exactly half an inch, 12 millimeters of water in it. It is crystalline and still, except for this sparkling effervescence that's traveling along the surface of it, and wobbles by and puts a goblet of wine on the edge of this thing and off the edge of the thing. She just takes a sip of the wine, sits it down, looks into it, and the surface lights up, and you can see Alexandria.
Wow.
Yes. And how are you?
I'm doing surprisingly well. And yourself?
Oh, business is booming. How about we start out with that? So have you given any thought to my little offer?
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised.
Why are you surprised?
Oh, you seem to be one of those who put so much stock in the opinion of your friends. I figured they'd have persuaded you. Took you a while to get back to me, you know.
Because I was thinking.
I'm glad to see you have a substantial consideration for important moments.
What would you teach me?
Oh, this.
Not what would I ask you to teach me, what would you teach me?
Primarily two things. They're going to sound trite and the sort of thing that you're probably not going to fully appreciate, but just do accept that they are important. Confidence and control.
Of what?
You have yourself. You have the power of the world at your fingertips. You barely know how to turn it on.
That seems rude.
If you don't like a fair assessment, I don't have to keep giving them to you, but it's your education.
And the confidence? So what do I need you for? If I'm just confident, then will I just have control?
They're two separate issues. You see, your problem is you've been living in the shadow of all these big stories that you've been told for I don't know how long by people who won't tell you any of the truth. And nothing you've done so far has been your decision. You're trying to live up to somebody else's standard. That's not confidence. That's codependence. So the first thing we've got to do is teach you. If you want to be the most powerful sorceress this world has ever known, and with the ability to shape entire democracies, or if you want the monarchies, if you prefer that style of rulership, whatever it is you tend to do to restore the world to your vision of purity, you're going to have to learn better than that. And you've got a lot of ground to cover. But the good news is nothing teaches better than experience, and I've got lots of that. I come from a very long line of people who've walked a very hard road to know exactly all of the secrets of the universe. All of those secrets that progress or deliverance or empires won't teach you because it doesn't suit their agendas.
So, you come from a long line of people who have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to pass that on to me.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that me just accepting another level of quality?
That
But
depends.
yours? What if I'm better than you?
I'd be delighted. You don't understand. My I mostly don't care what you do with the power. I just happen to know that people like you, if you think you're doing good, will keep doing good no matter how many people it kills. And you know who my patron is. So I'm happy to give you everything you need. Because even if you don't want to, every time you walk up to some door and knock on it and say, hey, the New World Order is here, I'm its representative, they'll bring out the pitchforks and torches. It's just how it is. Even the deliverance of the dawn, all those goody two-shoeses, they all carry swords. Not sticks, not ropes, not any number of magics designed to just have someone take a nap and reconsider their life choices. Oh, no, they carry swords. Yes. So good, aren't they? So even if you succeed, I still win in that I get what I want. My patron's content. And hey, you've made the world a better place. That's a win for both of us. The bad guys are all gone. My patron's happy. The bad guys are all gone. You're queen of the world. Wonderful.
Except I don't want to be queen of the world.
That's fine. If you're more enlightened in that and want to create a federated union of like-minded intellectuals, I'm okay with that. It'll be the same outcome. Just ask the deliverance of the dawn. That's why they carry swords. So is it yes or no?
No. You set your sights too low.
Very good then. I look forward to the education I gain from you.
Good.
Ta-ta. I've got work to do. Click. Now, my soul is still able to watch. And what you will see is her take a sip from the goblet and then rifle it across the room in a rage. And she will turn around and in a language my soul hasn't heard in a very long time, unmistakably infernal, scream at the top of her lungs, the equivalent of Smithers, come here. And it turns out that Smithers is 11 feet tall, has 3 extra tentacles, a second eye stalk. Two of his sets of hands are just actually swords. The other 2 sets of hands are claws, and kind of, does the Frankenstein's assistant, yes, master, schlepping into the room, because nothing about whatever that thing is makes any locomotive or anatomical sense.
It's just a regular guy. Cool.
It's just your buddy. Just your buddy Smithers.
Just a guy.
I will ask Meisel to please. You're either going to have to use your language translation boon, or you are going to have to roll logic to be able to understand the conversation. You pick. Let me know if that affects anything else you are currently sustaining.
Yeah, I'll need to use. Was it logic you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I can't sustain tongues and telepathy. No. Oh wait. I'm not using telepathy.
You're using the scrying bane.
I'll use tongues.
Okay.
It will,
because it's a boon, right?
Yeah. Everyone will feel the telepathy thing break.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, that's easily over what I need.
All right. So nobody else can hear this conversation except you?
Yeah, I can't maintain telepathy with tongues.
All right. Can I get everyone but Sam to please take their headphones off? I will, as before, post in the Zoom chat and Twitch chat when it is safe to put your headphones back on. All right. This is a temper tantrum of epic proportions. I'm not going to bother quoting, but the gist of what the conversation roughly, well, it's not a conversation, it is a string of orders. So whatever that thing is, it's obviously an infernal of some kind because that's the language she's speaking to it. It hurts your head even with the translation. It is instinctively something your brain does not want to deal with. It is a language that is not fit for merely mortal ears. And she speaks it fluently. And essentially what she is doing is saying, use the circle, use the energy in the obelisks, find them and drop on them and destroy them and bring me what's left of her.
Simple as that, eh?
Yeah. Smithers does the world's most anatomically awkward looking bow and will reply something like, there isn't enough time to prepare before dawn. It'll have to be tomorrow night. I don't care is the reply. Leave as soon as the sun sets.
Well, at least we have time.
Okay. And then Smithers does the drag, sidestep, sachet, not quite fall over, drag, repeat cycle out the door.
Yeah.
Wow, that thing's weird. And then she's going to say, she's going to expletive in infernal to give you an idea. Yeah. And that's that.
Yeah.
Any questions for you?
I don't. No, I think that was pretty clear cut, as it were.
Yeah. At that point, she will essentially be shoving her nose in a book and snapping heavy leather pages with the force of a hurricane, clearly doing some kind of research, but what she's up to, you'd have no idea.
Yeah. Pretty much once it's clear they're not getting anything particularly useful from being there.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm going to bring everybody else back. All right. So, yeah. Now what?
So there'd be, like I said, you just sort of feel that the telepathic link
bridge,
drop away.
Mm-hmm.
And then just sort of nothing from Mysel for, I mean, probably a little longer than whatever than
Yeah.
headphones off time was, because there was a bit
Several minutes.
yeah, a few minutes. So I don't know if we want to do anything. If there's anything you want to do, the three of you want to do during those several minutes of Mysel being relatively unresponsive.
Lee, that's up to you.
I think Alexandria would be sitting in silence.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
All right. Spider and Kazra, anything you two were chatting about, or just waiting for Mysel to return with the information?
Kazra is just keeping to herself. She is just staring at the fire or whatever they're congregated around. Just
Yeah, they got a bonfire going. You know, a pleasant campfire.
it's just she's not too close. Feathers.
Mm.
Seen, but close enough.
Okay, so Mysel comes out of their trance-like state, looks around, and
Kind of, first thing he does is just spit. Just sort of comes to and just like, forgot what that was like. Ugh. Ugh.
What was that necessary?
It's not actually helpful, but it made me feel better.
Okay.
It's like sort of like spits, then, but he's also sort of has a bit of a grin, I guess, to an extent. You were right. Talking with her was the right choice. That was.
Why?
Oh, she is mad. For all her calm and her dismissiveness, she was furious, apoplectic with rage, which is also not. We're gonna get attacked.
Oh, good.
Got a
But
time frame on that?
tomorrow night,
Oh,
No,
That's very specific.
that is specific. I'm glad.
yeah. So, how do I?
Here's a thought. Could
I
we
can't-
not?
Can't imagine any of you have spoken of Infernal before.
no.
No, yeah, no, it's not. Physically feels bad to hear and speak.
Oh, like
And-
the song.
Hence the spitting.
Hey,
Ah,
it's not.
no,
My
it's
version.
more.
Oh, yes. Wait, your
Ah.
version.
I assume the one she heard.
Yeah.
Let's let Mysel keep talking. We can go back and talk about that song later.
Like I said, for all her calm, she was mad and being rejected. She had a tantrum.
A lot of people
But-
do when I reject them.
But she has a creature, I guess. Something infernal. Something that large, spiky, and dangerous, but with a strong air of shouldn't work. But that's less important because the large and spiky is much more pertinent. She told it to use the circle, to use the power from the obelisks, so that it could drop on us, destroy us, and then bring back whatever was left of Alexandre, well, back to her.
Great.
And it said that it would take until tomorrow night to gather the appropriate amount of energy, which is what I assumed the butchery was for.
Okay.
It definitely looked like she was empowering the obelisks with that ritual. So.
Oh.
Sounds like we need to set a trap.
Ooh.
I talk a
That
big
sounds-
talk, but the confidence, it's not there.
Hmm.
That can be faked.
And the control?
That cannot be faked.
You see why the confidence is kind of necessary.
Messier magic wielders than you have made it work somehow.
That
How
was
far
surprisingly
away from
nice.
the
Surprisingly, I'm not going to question that. Nope.
How far were we from the Ashnaga bread?
All right. So just let me double check something. It's about 30 kilometers to their border. The problem is that you're hiking over plains and light hills. So that makes it a lot more like 50 kilometers you've got to travel. So basically tomorrow will be a full day just to get to their border. And then you've got a couple of kilometers worth of scorched earth to walk across before you get into the actual area of the burn fire.
Got that
Where they're
in my head. I thought it was only going to be like 2 days out to the airship. That's all right.
Yeah. You will reach basically a long day's travel would get you to the airship, presuming you don't have any problems with the orcs. So it's an average day of travel to get to the border, camp on the border where you're out, and wait until sunrise so you can see them coming, as it were. And then if you get up early, move fast, as fast as you can, minimize your breaks, be willing to be pretty tired when you get there. If everything goes properly, you could be at the airship that night. So it's a solid 3 days of travel.
Even if it were closer, we can't take her to the airship.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe we could try and get up to the mountains.
I was just thinking maybe there was a way of getting help from the orcs.
Also possible. We could
Even just on an enemy of my enemy kind of capacity.
Distance-wise, we'd probably need Heo for that.
Yeah. I mean, that wouldn't be a problem. Very doable.
Just have to do something with Boris and Yuri here. But certainly possible.
Maybe I could spend the night trying to make us a knight. 2 different uses of the word knight. One of them had a K.
What are you going to make a knight out of?
I don't know. But not my tea set. Maybe trees, stone, maybe stone.
You probably find some good stuff around here.
Like a stone. It will take me either all night or all day, though.
How literally, Mysel, do you mean drop in on us?
That's the word she used.
Okay.
So maybe we are looking for a bridge and see if we can make it drop past Kazra.
Yeah, there's no dropping in on me. Plan to be pretty far up there. They're not going to get the jump on us or anything like that.
Yeah, that's why I was thinking a cave, sort of, because then, can't literally just drop out of the air and squish us.
Unless they're waiting on the ceiling.
Yeah.
Say they teleported last time?
Yeah, from the ground, though.
You can drop sideways. That's true, too. Caves, see? My problem with caves? Caves, spider, caves?
Yeah, no, I understand caves, not ideal.
Enclosed.
I don't think cave is a good idea either.
Okay. Just have to
Cave
rule
is
it out.
bad.
Okay.
I don't want to be trapped in a cave with anything. And if it made Mysel spit, that's
Unless you could trap it in the cave.
with someone, because it's going to drop on. It's going to drop. You don't want to be squished by something and then be stuck in a cave with it.
I'm fine with the concept of caves. I just don't want to be inside of one. I just want to make that clear.
Yes, I understand that you're not ideologically opposed to caves.
Good. Just making sure.
I would imagine, and I could easily be wrong, that she was. My thought was that when it was drop on, was not so much literal as in get the drop on.
Surprise.
Right.
But
even
also,
then-
if they can teleport, the surprise being that they're suddenly there next to you.
Right.
But I mean, I don't know the capacity of what they have. Oh, it does seem like her ability to, know when you're calling is not her own. She has a it was like a small mechanical person that like alerted her that it was happening because she had told it to watch you or to keep an ear out. And then to actually contact you, she had to leave the abattoir shrine and go to like a scrying bowl, essentially.
So she's not all powerful.
Or at least she's using these items to augment something.
Michelle, is there stone in the area?
You're literally on top of a plateau that's primarily composed of stone. There are going to be you're on a high plateau, a high steps plateau in the middle of a mountain range. There is going to be boulders from stub your toe to immobilize the, to anchor a bisonophilo up to forget it. That's bigger than my house.
Got a big house too. That's some stone. Okay. That's what I'll do.
So as a reminder, if you are, quote, up all night, you will automatically gain 1 level of fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
it's either going to be sleep all day having made a thing, or sleep all night and then start making a thing in the morning and hope. So I think it's going to be a do it now and then sleep all day, because either way we know.
Yep, fair enough.
Yeah. You can sleep in the wagon.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. We have a wagon, therefore makes sense for Alexandra to just sleep.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense to me. All right.
I still stay up with her.
Okay.
We can do watches or something.
So explain to me what this process looks like then, Alexandria, as you build a knight out of rubble.
No big deal.
Your fieldstone knight.
My fieldstone knight, which is going to live forever. It's permanent. I'm animating. I'm using animation. Okay. So let me find the rules as given by Mustache.
I think we all create life.
Oh, yes, sure. Absolutely. You see the birds there?
Huh?
I made them.
Well, yeah, that's different though. See, they're very small.
I only meant to make one, so.
I mean, now they've got a friend. They've each got a friend. That's cool. Yep, creating life sounds great. Cool.
I don't think it is necessarily good.
I don't.
But I also don't think I'm going to help La Chanson by being dead and poured into an altar. So I feel like this might be the better option, you know?
You know, I have to agree with you there. I am willing to overlook the possible moral ramifications of this for now, in the interest of time.
I don't know how willing to overlook the moral ramifications of this I am, really, because you see the birds?
No.
You see the birds?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't control them.
Well, nor should you. That would make it worse. No, really. Concentrate on the thing, the life that you're building.
I haven't started. I have not started yet.
I know. I just don't want to get into one of these conversations because we tend to do this, and then, like, what if this thing that lives forever comes out wonky? You don't want it to be weird forever.
I just don't want to create something that is incredibly powerful and good at hitting or killing things, and then let it free in the world.
Maybe make it smaller than you need to then.
Just world's most dangerous termite.
Just slightly smaller. Bigger than a bird. Small.
Okay, so what it looks like. Alexandria is going to go around just with a torch, looking at different pieces of stone and sort of singing to it, like just singing at different pieces of stone until she finds ones that feel right. And then she will go into it's kind of convenient that Sam's not here. She's going to go into Chevalier's soul box.
Yep. Saw that coming.
And take out. There was a little piece of like what Chevalier is made of. She can take that out. I don't know if there's more than one piece. If there's more than one piece, she'll just take one.
We'll say there's a half dozen fragments.
Okay, so she takes one of these fragments out and she kind of adds that to the pile, I guess. Yeah. And then she's just gonna start humming and singing just quietly and talking to this creature that she's going to build out of stone. And as she builds, it will sort of almost become like clay, like it melts down and she starts shaping it. And when she's done, it looks like a smaller version, but only by like a foot. So like a 6-foot version of Chevalier made out of stone is what she's intending.
Okay. Right. Makes sense.
That's the intention. I have to roll for this. So
yes, you do.
I'm scared. I Chantel am afraid.
There's no help
should be.
Help, my God.
I can't even remember what happens if it doesn't work. I think it just doesn't happen.
Yep.
Cool.
Let me look it up here real fast.
Something terrifying.
There were two versions of it.
Yeah, there's the there's animation
the
and then
success with a
there's
twist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Okay, cool. So, hopefully, this goes well.
Yeah, there we go.
Last time I rolled a nat 20 on it, and we ended up with the birds. I think Alexandria has a legend point. Hang on. I feel like this is a good time to use it.
Yeah, the legend points aren't showing on the live
They're
stream.
not on the stream because I couldn't figure out at the time a way to make them show. So,
okay.
I know that I have them. Yeah, Alexandria has one, so I'm going to use it.
Okay.
Cool.
So that gives you both advantage 1 and +1 on the roll.
So that's 3d8 then. That I need. Okay. Please. Oh, okay. Okay, we're looking at nice numbers. That's an.
So you want a 22.
Well, I mean, it's an 18 on the d20 plus a 6 and a 5.
All right. That gets you up into power. So what's your creation? Well, it's either your creation, entropy, or logic. Which one you're using? Creation. And what's your creation?
6.
6. Okay, so you're capped at power level 6. So yes, yep. You animate a single creature. Your invoking attribute score must be equal or greater than the highest attribute score of the creature you're animating. With a successful invocation, the creature comes into existence with the charmed minor bane already in effect. No roll required. So yes.
So the way that Great Moustache rephrased it was you animate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I sent it to you the first time at the birds.
Oh gosh, yes. I totally forgot.
It's on Discord, but I'll read it out. So the result, the power level 6 result is you can animate a single creature. Your invoking attribute score must be equal to or greater than the highest attribute score of the creature you're animating. With a successful invocation, the creature comes into existence and follows your commands for a number of hours up to the attribute score used to invoke the boon. So up to 6 hours, the creature will do what I ask, but beyond that, its own creature. Do what it wants.
So you have a potential problem then. Alexandria is smart enough to figure this out, and even if she isn't, Spider certainly would notice immediately. If you get done at 8 o'clock in the morning, 6 hours is 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yes.
Sunset, quote, at night is at least 6 hours later.
Yes.
So you could be spending all night creating this creature only to have had it wander off.
Yes.
Okay.
The Alexandria's hope is to make friends with the creature and ask the creature nicely.
All right.
That's what she did with the birds.
Uh-huh.
The hope is that this creature doesn't come out as you know, mentally youthful as the birds. She'll just hold, but she's just gonna, because Sam wasn't here, but I don't know if you heard, Sam. Alexandra used one of the fragments of Chevalier to incorporate into this creature that she's just made.
It looks vaguely like Chevalier.
It looks like a 6-foot Chevalier.
One of the fragments.
One of the pieces of Chevalier.
Why not
Part
just
of it, part of what it there were a quote handful of fragments of his armor which did not completely decompose and she had picked up and stuck in that little box she's been carrying.
Right.
Like thumbnail sized chunks, right?
Right. That's not what I thought of when you said fragment of Chevalier. And I was
no.
The eyebrows don't need to go quite as high.
No.
Yeah. So that's
yeah, that is so you will be up all night rearranging stones, singing quietly, finding various things to hold pieces together, prop things up as the magic coalesces. And
if Kazra's around, like if Kazra does actually stay up, she'd just be like, "Hey, can you hold this?
She's helping.
Just hold this for a moment." Just to...
Yes. She's
Okay,
like
you can let go
holding
now.
things with wings and hands, and
You can let go of it now. It'll stay there.
she's gonna keep holding that kind of thing.
And the scene that we will close on is the pile of stone. You can visually see, you're piling rocks. There's a limit to how close you can get everything. So you rolled extraordinarily well. It is a quote epic outcome. And so you're actually, Kazra, I think, will be the one to most appreciate this moment. So the stones are actually going to be able to start to change shape. They will almost begin to move like clay so that they become more structured. So the piece that should be the arm changes shape so that it is a neatly formed column of stone. It is no longer rough hewn field stone. It looks like this is something that has been worked upon by a stonesmith. Perhaps not a master, but someone certainly who knew how to use a chisel. And likewise, and then the pieces will actually move together to form almost seamless connections at each joint point, as though there was a piece of unseen thread that wound through them all, and someone had drawn the thread tight and cinched everything together. The disturbing part is when it does the owl, which is where its head rotates a full 360 degrees. Pausing very briefly with where the eyes are is glowing this obvious magical blue-green color. It's not bright. It's like the tail end of a chem light that has been allowed to slowly run itself out. And it's just this dim glow. If you're more than a couple of meters away, you probably wouldn't even notice it. But as close as you are, Kazra is very aware of this, that this thing is looking at her. This pile of stone has put itself together at the closing moments of this beautiful song that Alexandria has been singing all night. The opposite of a lullaby. It's not putting to sleep, it is waking up. And the fingers flex. The stones were all different sizes. It's now a properly radialized hand. The legs move slightly, and very much in that way Alexandria is used to seeing, much younger Chevalier do. The body remains stationary, the legs turn in place a full 360 degrees, and then the head rotates the other way, the full 360 degrees. And then it turns its complete attention towards Alexandre and bows. What is thy bidding? And you do not hear that as you feel the rumble in the bare edge of the human, it's the bottom edge of the human audible range. Any deeper, it would be infrasound. You don't so much as hear it as it rumbles through the ground and through your feet.
I mean, everyone hears it, whether they were asleep or not.
Infrasound goes for a long way, and there's just about nothing that stops it.
The brown note. That's all that matters.
No, not the brown note. So yeah, I think Mysel and Spider will be waking up, wondering how things have gone for Alexandre and Kazra's vigil all night. Spider has images of a great fried egg breakfast, perhaps with some good cheese, and what is thy bidding rumbles through the whole coach.
Yep.
I guess that answers that question.
It's excellent.
You know, when you don't have an answer to a question you didn't expect asked.
Whisper of the
Well, I
Wilds.
mean, is
What
that
my
the
bidding?
cliffhanger then? We just end the episode there then? Is that the end?
I feel like, yeah, that might be
Play
it.
it off.
Unless you folks have got something you want to do past that point, that is it. We can talk. That will give you the week to consider the ramifications of this moment and how you intend to make friends with whatever that is.
Alexandre, we need to have a talk. Please, my dear.
I know you thought this was a good idea,
My
but I
sweet
have some
darling one.
potentially.
This is a really good idea 8 hours ago.
You know, give her enough time. She could make another one with the next 8 hours.
I was just gonna say, yeah, the funny thing. This is what a classic example of some things don't look as good by the light of day. I mean,
Literally.
some decisions just don't look as good.
I mean, you kind of made a proto-Praetorian.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what she did.
Remember how we had all those questions about where the Praetorian came from?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. The mini birds, small Praetorian.
Mm-hmm.
Proto-Praetorian.
My ear just went flying. These birds, yeah. Tiny Praetorian. Now we have a medium Praetorian. And then we'll get a large Praetorian.
Large.
A large one. Yeah, fun.
So yeah. So I hope you all, other than the foo-foo in the middle there, and my apologies again for that, I hope the rest of the episode was good. I hope I've given you lots to think about for the next week. And yeah, bring your game dice, as it were. There will be a fight next session. Because Smithers is not the sort for negotiating.
Smithers, please.
Smithers, reconsider. Smithers.
Hey, Smithers, why don't you be
Mr.
friends with me?
Mr. Sword for Hands.
Yeah,
Mr.
no,
Points.
not scissor hands, sword for hands.
That's
Just seems very cumbersome, is all.
yeah. Why don't you put those down? Let's replace it with a teacup.
something
Like
work.
teacups.
Something works for the praying mantis.
Very single purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll teach you to dance.
Like I say, yeah, I was just gonna say, one set of appendages has swords, the other set of appendages has claws. They're covered.
Yeah.
He's his own Freddy versus Jason.
I feel like trying to teach it how to dance would go not amazing.
Or amazing. Do you know how supple tentacles are?
It was like the movement was described as like shouldn't work and is basically wrong.
So very flexible.
I'm just going to say the anatomically unlikely is the most polite version.
Anatomically unlikely.
Aren't we all these days? I keep trying to find nice things to say about this creature, and there isn't. So
nope.
Let's finish that.
Straight up number one nightmare stuff. Bottle number 7.
It seems loyal. So
Oh, that's something. Good
to
job,
Jenny,
loyal
so there's
nightmare.
that as well.
Oy.
Alrighty, folks. Thank you very much. We'll catch you in a week.
You
Bye,
next week.
everyone.
Bye.